All right, everybody. Now we have Tony Finau. We're going to look at Tony Finau's swing on his backswing. Okay. So we can see here, just in his address position, we can see here that his spine is relatively straight, tilted around that 45-degree angle, which we really love. We also see the slight knee bend as well, which is fantastic. So he's very well balanced. Okay. So let's have a look on his backswing. Let's see what happens. All right. So we don't have the image right from behind his shot. We're kind of a little bit to the side here, but we're going to try and see if we can analyze the first position. Okay. So the first position, as we talked about before, is when the club reaches parallel to the ground, which is about here. Now, if we were right behind his toe line, that club in the hands would be forming a nice straight line there. So he would be very much on plane to start his golf swing. Okay, so it's a very simple move here. He's letting his arms move first, then his lower half starts to turn. So very good there. Okay, now if we also look at his head as well, this is a really great tip for amateurs. It's just try and make sure that the head remains stable during the backswing, okay? You will see sometimes that the head might come down a little bit with the Tour Pros, but generally you'll see the head stay reasonably level on the backswing, but it may go a little bit down on the downswing, okay? Because on the downswing, we do tend to want to take a divot, even with a fairway wood. And a fairway wood is what Tony Finau's got here. Definitely with an iron, we're definitely trying to hit down into the grass. With a fairway wood, we're trying to just skim the grass on the way through. So it's very important to try and keep a head nice and steady. All right, so we can see there that Tony's head very steady. If anything, it maybe drops a tiny bit there. So nice turn of his body. Okay, so now we're going to come up. All right. Okay, so we'll pause it there. So oftentimes when we see Tony swing, we think, it looks really, really short. Now, it's not too short at this position. Okay, so his hands are actually higher up than his right shoulder. Also, we're going to have a look at his position at the top with his shaft. Okay, so you can see there that he gets to the top. He's very neutral position here. We'd like to see the shaft angle basically parallel with the target at the top of the position. Okay, so we can see there's his shaft angle right there. Okay, so if we were kind of extrapolating through, I would say that his shaft angle at the top of his swing is very much matching his toe line down the bottom here, which in fact would be just left of his target. All right, so he's in a very neutral shaft position there, so there's not much rerouting that needs to happen coming down. All right, we can see the shaft starting to flatten out as he starts his downswing. All right, it's a very common move for elite players. You'll see them get to the top, and then they'll start to flatten their shaft angle down as they come back down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just draw a couple of lines. Just going to draw a line from the butt end of the club down to the ball. All right, so we get to the top. That's his shaft plane there. Now, as he comes down, you can see that the shaft starts to really flatten. All right, it starts to go underneath that white line. It stays just above the right elbow in this position, okay? So typically someone who does that, it comes a little bit above the right elbow, is someone who typically fades the ball. So it's just a little bit steeper in this position here. You'll see the guys who are a little bit flatter who draw the ball, the shaft's a little bit lower, more down on that right elbow, okay? So as he comes back down, I'm going to keep coming down. All right, so his face angle actually looks a little bit open as it comes back down. So it looks quite open here at this point. And now he's going to try and, it should start to square up a little bit. Yeah, if anything, it's a little open, just by a little bit. Actually gets pretty square there. But he's very open as it comes down, and then he starts to rotate it as he gets down to about parallel to the ground again before he hits the ball. So he's open and then he's starting to square it up now. So he's coming from, yeah, it's pretty much on top of the ball. So his path is around that sort of 0 to -1 here, I would say. And coming through. And Tony would be someone who hits fades as his stock shot. Okay, it's because his shaft does get a little bit above the right elbow. The face looks like it's a little open. So he'd be hitting these little fades. So we're just going to have a look at his spine angle as it comes down as well. So something that really important to keep in note is that with the elite ball strikers, the guys on tour, if you look at his base of his spine there, so he should really be able to keep his rear on the base of that line that I've drawn all the way down until he hits the ball. Okay, so you can even see that he's actually pushed it even further back. All right, so he's very athletic here. And that's the reason why his swing is a little bit shorter than other people's on the tour. But because he has so much force through the hitting area, he rotates his body so well. Okay, and that's a very athletic golf swing. Okay, generates a lot of power. All right, so that's the swing of Tony Finau. Tune in for more, and I'll start dissecting the Tour Pro swing. Thank you.